I don't know who exactly put me up for this wonderful award, and I would like to thank them. I'd like to thank the committee for doing that, and I'm very grateful for setting me up for this award. Oh, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame of East, well, I take it as a great honor, but also kind of a humbling aspect, because I just said, who, me? And it's very nice. It's a wonderful award, and I thank East High and the alumni for that. Some of the fondest memories of East High were my friends, the associates I made, that I still see some of them yet today, and they've been forever friends. They've influenced me a great deal, and also I'd say the culture of East High, which was very impactful on me. It gave me a very good education. It taught me a lot about how to interact with people, and I'm really proud of being a graduate of East High. None of my children had that opportunity, but I often told them that they'd miss something in life. Well, my advice to students at East High would be to get a good education. I think in today's world, education is primary to the success that they wish to achieve in life. And if they don't get an education, life will be tough. I would tell alumni today to support the system, to provide for education. It's imperative for our youth in the world as well as in this town. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? Well, I would have took some classes I didn't take when I went to East High I would take today. I didn't think that I would have took language, which I wanted to avoid at the time. I would have taken debate, because I think that communicating with people is so important. You can't do it all by text. You can't reason with people. You can't persuade or lead just by text. You have to be able to communicate to people. And let's see, what else would I probably done? I would have learned to type, which was the last place that I think most men wanted to end up in the typing class. But it would sure have come in handy in the last 25 years. When I became very active in the business, they still had those dictaphones. And oh my God, it was a little bit like this interview. I had to keep changing to do it.
Wait, back up.
And then I found somebody that took shorthand, and that was the greatest invention. But now I'm into the pecking system today. Went back to East High School, or what I want to be. I have a hard time answering that question. And let me say that educators, there's people that can educate, and you never can get enough as a student. You go back to learn more. And those educators that had the ability to empower you, to excite you, you never really got enough of it. It happened to me at Drake. I was a marketing major and found out my last year I was an economics major because I really enjoyed economics and the way the educator had pursued it. So I'd have difficulty saying where to, well, I from a, I'm trying to think, Savage. Coach Savage was always interesting.
Yeah. Was he the gym coach?
No, he was the football coach.
Oh, he was football coach.
And I think I can't remember what he was teaching, but he was teaching something. But half of the time the class was held on the football game for the next weekend. And and we had great football teams in those days. The only time I think we'd have been state champ, but it happened to be that Randy Duncan was the quarterback for Roosevelt that year, and it cost us the championship. But there were a lot of good memories. There's bad memories. You can't say that, gee, did everything go just perfect? Nothing goes perfect in life, nor does it at school. But I wouldn't trade to go to another high school, given my experiences at East. Well, first being 21, you certainly couldn't tell people you knew everything. But I mentioned earlier communication, the ability to communicate with people, to gain their trust, to mean that trust, meant a lot in my growing the business. And it was, and of course, I had a father that I found myself in that position because of health, and a brother that was dying, and so I was thrusted into it. But other associates made it work for me. Anyone that's successful has to say there's a lot of people that aren't in that position, but that made that position successful for me, and I'm very grateful to them. And most of when we moved from the east side to the west side, it was all Lee Township. It was kind of hard because people had to move out to Clive, but it was a lot of people made my success. I was just lucky to be there, and I guess communicate well enough, which I would give East High credit for that, for my success and for the family's success.